Well, we're getting to the point now where we've created this structure and organization that should work really well. However, it's kind of up to you to use that structure. So I kind of compare it to when you're organizing your home and we say, okay, a place for everything and everything in its place. Creating the place for everything might be a weekend activity, but the whole part about everything in its place, that is a day by day or hour by hour kind of thing. And it can quickly, that organizational system, turn into nothing important if you don't follow through with it. So I kind of want to describe what I use as, I might call it a workflow. So when I sit down to read my email, I make decisions like, okay, where does this need to go? Is this something I can just get rid of now and put in the archive? Do I need to deal with it later? Maybe I don't have time right now, so I put it in my to-do list. That's my starred list. Or do I need to save it and put a label on it, so even if it's in the archive, it's something I'm going to be able to more easily and quickly find later. So those are pretty much the three options that we have. So I want to just show you what a typical email session might be for me. One of the things I've learned is I shouldn't try to do email when I have like 15 seconds to do it. Because if I have things to do, which is pretty often with my email, I'm not going to have time to do it anyway. So I just start filling up that starred category, creating a bunch of work for myself. But on the other hand, I also don't want like dozens and dozens of unread emails to pile up. So what I did is I went back to my alternate email account and I kind of rigged it. I keep loading things back to the inbox. I don't know if you know that, but you can take messages and put them back in the inbox that you previously deleted. That's why I have messages here in February. So this is all just totally made up, but I can still show you what the workflow looks like. So when I sit down and I see, here's some, 10 messages, it's very common that maybe half of those aren't even things that I need to deal with. Now, if I'm smart, I've created some filters that automatically send those things into the archive, but a lot of times I can't do that. So, I'm just going to go through a few of these things and say, oh, well, here's some Slack messages that I know what those are. I don't need that. The Gmail thing I don't need. So I'm clicking this box and I'm just checking these messages that I want to deal with. And I'm going to do the same action to all of the things that are checkmarked. And I can archive. I can report it as spam. I can delete it, although I told you I don't delete until the archive gets overloaded, and we'll deal with that later. I can move it somewhere. Now, moving sounds different than what it actually is. All moving does is it puts a label on it and then throws it in the archive. And the label just makes it easier to find later because I can click on all my labels over here and anything that I've ever labeled with that is going to show up in that list. Here, I can label it without archiving it, and they just call that labeling. And then I've got even more options, okay? So let's say these are things I don't think I'm ever going to need to see these again, so I'm not going to label it. So I'm just going to go to this archive button and click that, and boom, those are gone. I can always undo. I've got about maybe 10 or 15 seconds to undo that until I do something else. So maybe this T-shirt thing, I wanted to save these Google Forms confirmations, and so those two are going to get a label of T-shirts. Okay, so since I've checked both of them, I can apply a label, or I can do this, move it, which means apply the label and archive it at the same time. So I'm going to apply this, and you see how they're instantly gone. Now again, just out of sight, here they are over here with this label, so they're still in the archive. I can also apply a label, maybe if I have a single message, something that I need to do, I can grab the label, and I'm going to drag it to this message and just let go. And that's how I apply the label there. Okay. Now chances are I'm not going to use that very much because if I want to label it, I'm probably going to just archive it anyway. So now I've just created an extra step of having to archive. So that's why I kind of like the move thing. I can also grab this and drag it over to here. Maybe I'll throw this. You see how I'm moving this over to, I'll put it in the year-end review and let go. So I can drag both ways. That's kind of convenient. And maybe some of these things are things I look at this like, oh yeah, I got to get on LinkedIn, which I don't know about you, but I always get these invitations from LinkedIn and I never do anything with them. So if I think I want to do something with it, maybe I'll put a star on it. Depending on how many clicks, it'll be a high or a low priority. And then the next time I update or refresh my inbox. Oh, wait, you know what? I didn't click on that. I have to click on it, and then when I archive it, or if I go back rather, then I update. Now, see, it's moved down here to the start. Again, the start is my things that I need to deal with. So I'm chipping away at these messages. I'm down from 10 to about 2 now. What am I going to do with this? I don't think I need that, but I want to keep it for later, so I'll throw it into some, maybe this t-shirt thing again. And a security alert, oh, I just missed that. I don't need that, so I'm going to archive it just like that. I can also click on the message to open it and then archive it. Usually with emails from people, I want to read what it is, and then I'll decide. I can't always tell just by looking at the subject line what it is, but gosh, if I can do that, that's really convenient because it just saves all this time. I think a lot of people think you have to open every email that you get. It's kind of like mail, you know, at home. If you get paper mail and you know it's just a solicitation from another credit card company, you can just throw it in the recycle bin right away. You don't have to open everything. So that's the kind of workflow that I'm talking about. And again, you have to find something that works for your situation. But find something that works, and then you'll find that your inbox will not become cluttered like maybe it was before, and you'll just have a much more organized way of doing email. So good luck. Hope that was helpful for you. Thanks for watching.